for stopping back by another episode of the Raider Critique. And in this episode, we're going to go over Week 13, the preview in between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders at O.co. Now, I would like to say a few things first, that the Chiefs are coming off of a bye week, and the week prior, they are coming off the highest scoring NFL game ever recorded in NFL history. In a losing effort, might I add, losing to the Rams 54-51. Now, this doesn't bode well for our Oakland Raiders, who have been savagely beaten on the offensive line. Our quarterback has been sacked more this year than he has in his whole career as an NFL football player. We have a lot of injuries going on our football team, offensively, defensively. Our wide receivers can't create separation, and the only bright spot that we can see on our team is the running backs, who, by the way, are beasting and keeping this team alive. Now, a lot of us can argue that our defense has not been playing well, but I believe that our defense has been playing as well as they can with the hand that they've been given. And as a matter of fact, I believe that our defense has kept us in a lot of these games. I mean, there's only so much they can do when the offense is going 3 and out almost every other drive, especially in the second half. The defense is getting burnt out. They're tired. I mean, they can only do so much. Now, when it comes to facing these Kansas City Chiefs, unlike the Baltimore Ravens of what we did last week, which, by the way, we were pummeled by, we're not facing the old school Chiefs. We're not facing an Alex Smith. We're not facing a Jamal Charles. Instead, we are facing a beasted up Chiefs defense led by Justin Houston. And by the way, Eric Berry is coming back to play this game, even though he's been hurt all year. He always seems to want to show up to play against the Raiders because he always has a career-style day against the Oakland Raiders. They're also led by quarterback sensation Patrick Mahomes and wide receiver standout Tyreek Hill. This really does not bode well for us. They also have Travis Kelce on the inside, who we literally cannot stop anybody's tight end from doing anything. Our interior linebackers do not cover well. Our defensive line barely creates a pass rush, so I honestly don't think that we're going to make Mahomes uncomfortable. And Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill are basically going to be running, and they're going to be doing routes all over us all game long. Now, I hate to say it, Raider Nation, because as much as my fandom wants to tell me that we are going to win this game, I don't believe that we stand a chance. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to lose. I'm not saying that we're going to get blown out. I'm saying that we are going to get blasted off the face of the planet 54-17. Now, I'd hate to say it and put it this way, but our offensive line can't block. Our running backs have been the only bright side of this offense, and every time Derek Carr drops back to pass, his feet are moving every which way. He doesn't set his feet before he throws the ball. He looks real fidgety back there, and I still believe that he is not able to put enough pressure on his lead foot to follow through with his passes. As much as I am a Derek Carr fan, I really don't foresee us competing in this game. Instead, I see us being embarrassed. And this is sad to say because it's terrible to even think this way, that our football team is going to let us down like this, which they probably are, because we're not going to score any more than 17 points. We haven't scored more than 17 points in the past 3 weeks. We cannot get over that hump of hitting that number 17. It's either 17 or below. And I honestly don't think that it's going to change now. Now, as you guys can see, I have changed up the format a little bit because I am trying out a new recording program called OBS. I actually like this program a little bit better. It seems like I can do a lot more with it than I could with Bandicam. And I'm not able to record the webcam as of this moment because I went ahead and ordered one of them 1080p cameras. So that's not supposed to get in here till Monday. So I'm going to be making the post-game video like this as well. So I'm sorry if you guys don't like this format, but it is temporary. Now, I do want to go into a segment since this preview for this game is going to be short. And in this segment, I would like to name it the Raider Critiques Predictions for 2019. Now, these are my predictions on what I believe is going to happen this offseason with moves from the coaching staff to certain players, and even all the way down to what I believe Mark Davis is going to do, because I know a lot of you people out there want Mark Davis to sell the team. So these are my top 5 Raider Critique predictions for 2019 and beyond. Prediction number 1, Marshawn Lynch will retire this offseason. Now, the reason why I say this is because obviously Marshawn Lynch did not come back to Oakland to be a part of a losing effort, which is exactly what this looks like. Marshawn Lynch came here to win a championship for the city of Oakland before the Raiders went to Las Vegas. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. His 2-year contract is up at the end of the year, and we're probably not going to re-sign him. Now, he has been injured. He is going to be injured for the rest of the year as far as I can tell. So we have probably already seen Marshawn Lynch run his last game as an Oakland Raider. And it's obviously really sad because he was one of the only bright spots on this football team, and he was the only one fighting when we were sitting there losing game after game after game. And Marshawn Lynch would show up every single solitary game, all up until the point to where he could not continue any longer. My prediction number 2, Greg Olsen will be fired at the end of the year, and Paul Guenther will keep his job. Now, the reason why I say this is because the offense has been the most disappointing of this football team. You can say whatever you want about the defense. The defense was exactly what we expected it to be, especially without a certain player numbered 52 who doesn't happen to be on this team any longer. Most of this was not Paul Guenther's fault. Paul Guenther expected to have a certain criteria and a certain personnel, and it did not work out for him that way. As a matter of fact, Paul Guenther has worked very well with what he has had to work with, and he has actually kept him and his defense has actually kept us into a lot of these games until they absolutely did not have the gas to do it any longer. Now, Greg Olsen, on the other hand, lackluster play calling. Last time he was here, we went 3-13. He's not really working with the quarterbacks all that much, because if he was, A.J. McCarron would be ready to go in place of Derek Carr, since Derek Carr is doing so badly. But everybody knows we don't want to put A.J. McCarron in the game because he's not doing very well. Okay? We don't run the ball efficiently, and when we do it at the most inopportune times. We're running in the third and in the fourth quarter when we're down by 21 points. We're running a West Coast offense. Derek Carr obviously is not used to this West Coast offense. We don't have an offensive line blocking for Derek Carr to give him time to throw the football, and our wide receivers are not creating separation. Why would Greg Olsen still be here? Obviously, my prediction for number 2 is Greg Olsen will be fired, and we will keep Paul Guenther. Prediction number 3. Now, this one is going to actually floor a lot of you, especially since the way I feel about Derek Carr. And everybody here knows exactly how I feel about Derek Carr. If you have come to this channel more often than not, you know that I praise this man. But I do believe that Derek Carr will be traded for a first-round pick next season. And it's going to happen during the draft. Now, the reason why I say this is because, let's be honest, Derek Carr does not look the same. As much as I love Derek Carr, as much as I believe that he is an outstanding human being, And I always have wanted him to come out of his slump ever since he got injured. He just has not been the same. It doesn't look like he's following through on his passes, which means the broken fibula in his lead foot probably still bothers him. His feet are moving crazy around while he's in the pocket. He's not setting his feet to throw. I know that probably has a lot to do with the way the offensive line has performed. We have two rookie tackles who can't seem to create a pass blocking scheme to save their life, let alone Derek Carr's. So it has been a very rough season for Derek Carr, but I also believe that the team's woes are going to fall on his shoulders, and we are going to trade Derek Carr for a first-round pick. Basically, it's going to be Gruden's fall guide where Gruden can go ahead and draft a quarterback. Now everybody's like, well, who the hell are we going to trade Derek Carr to for a first-round draft pick? Well, it's easy. We're going to trade him to the Giants because the Giants have Eli Manning. And even though Eli Manning has come on as of late, Eli Manning is not going to be the quarterback for the Giants in the future. And they do not have a backup to take over the role that they need. So Derek Carr would be an obvious perfect fit for the New York Giants, especially with Odell Beckham Jr. over there. I hate to say it, Raider Nation, but some people are going to hate me for this, but in order for Derek Carr to probably get his career back on track, he's going to have a change in scenery. Prediction number 4, John Gruden will last 3 years before failing and getting fired. Yes, that's right. I am calling this now. He will get 2 years as the Oakland Raiders head coach, even though he's probably not going to get 2 years in Oakland because they're not going to renew the contract next year. But he will get 1 year in Vegas before failing and getting fired. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe that John Gruden should have come back to coaching. I believe that it's been too long for him to be out. Whether you are an analyst or not, you are too far away from the game to be coaching these new kids on how to play the game of football, especially with the way these new kids are nowadays. They're different, man. It's not the 1980s style raised people. You're into the millennials now, and your obvious way of coaching and doing things are basically going to tank this football team all up into the first couple years into Las Vegas. I do not believe that John Gruden will work out his full contract. I believe that he will be gone 3 years. After the first year in Vegas, he will be gone. Prediction number 5, Mark Davis will stay the owner, and the Raiders will always be the Raiders. Now, this is a gimme. I think this is an obvious gimme right here that Mark Davis is not going to sell the football team. As much as you fans want him to sell the football team, and regardless of whether you got your little lawsuit about how you're going to sue him for the Raiders' name, it's not going to happen. All right? It's not going to happen whatsoever. The Raiders are going to move to Las Vegas, and they're going to be called the Las Vegas Raiders, and Mark Davis will stay the owner. Well, I hope everybody has enjoyed this pregame video for the Kansas City Chiefs and Oakland Raiders, along with my 2019 predictions on what's going to happen with this football team. Now, I'm going to come at you guys on Monday with the post-game review. Hopefully, my camera will be in by then, and then we can go back to the original format. I appreciate all the new subscribers and old subscribers who have subscribed to the channel. Hit that button for notifications and hit that thumbs up or the thumbs down. It doesn't really matter as long as you guys are reacting to the video and commenting down below. That's what makes me happy and makes me want to keep doing these videos for y'all. So anyway, I'm going to end it right here. Hopefully everything comes out good with this new program. I figure out how to run everything, and I can start getting some much better content out there for all of you. Now, until the post-game video, Raider Nation for life, I hope everybody has a good weekend, and everybody keep your chin up.